Brick manufacturing. The production of building materials, including bricks, is mostly an automated process. However, there are places where manual labor and traditional methods are preferred over specialized equipment. The raw material for making bricks is clay. It would be quicker to use an excavator to quarry it, but the workers you see on the screen work with an ordinary hoe. The soil is taken from the walls of the pit and then watered. The worker mixes the soil with water to make a thick, viscous clay. When its consistency is perfect, they start making bricks. A special wooden formwork is used for this. The master compacts the clay into empty cells. During this process, he exerts pressure repeatedly on the surface and smooths it to ensure that the mold is filled evenly and no voids will form. The edges of the bricks must be smooth, therefore in the last stage the master flattens them with his wet hands. Once the bricks have been removed, they must be dried. In a factory, they would be steam treated in special chambers, but when using this method, they're simply left in the sun for 3 days. During this time, the bricks harden, but this is still not enough. They are then placed in rows so that they can take up less space and are left for about a month. The bricks are covered with a tarp so that the sun won't crack them. Only after that, the bricks are ready for baking. The master cuts off the excess material from the side so that they're also flat. Then they build a kiln with these bricks and set a fire inside. This heat treatment lasts approximately 12 hours. After that, the bricks are ready and have the reddish-brown color we all know. Reinforced concrete production. The stability and reliability of residential, industrial, and other structures are subject to very strict requirements. The concrete itself is a strong material, but under the influence of external factors, it can be gradually destroyed. That is why it's additionally reinforced with iron. The builders you see on the screen make reinforcement using rods. This technique requires the creation of a steel rod frame. This frame makes it possible to distribute the weight evenly over the entire surface of the future concrete piece. The builders place the frame and then pour the concrete composition over it. The layer is then flattened. However, this construction site is quite unusual. This is because these builders have chosen a special reinforcement system called Prolog. It makes the job easier and faster. The fact is that the rods are normally fixed with special wire or clamps. In this case, the distribution bar frame is delivered ready from the factory and installed in a matter of minutes. Larger rods along the structure are fixed to the grid by means of a patented fastening system. Stone cladding. Finishing materials are used in construction to give surfaces a complete and aesthetic appearance. Stone cladding can be done on almost any wall and changes its appearance drastically. Builders must have design skills, creativity, and be able to put puzzles together. The work begins by laying the insulating layer, which will protect the wood structure from moisture. Workers then attach a special galvanized steel grid to the wall surface to reinforce it. In the next stage, the puzzle-solving skills we mentioned earlier will come in handy. The fact is that in this case, each stone element has a unique size and shape. That's why they're first placed on the floor to shape the future layout. There are several rules for the correct laying of the cladding stone. For example, large stones are placed next to small ones, while thick ones are placed next to thin ones. It should be noted that the size of the stone element, if desired, can be changed. Finally, the wall is covered with concrete mortar directly on top of the mesh. After this, it is left for 24 hours, giving it time to dry and harden. Only then the cladding is applied. Builders wet the back of the stone, apply a layer of adhesive mortar and adhere it to the wall. The elements are placed from the bottom up, so the pattern will be exactly the same as the one formed on the floor. The last step is to fill in the joint between the stones. In this case, to get a more original look, the resulting surface is also painted. Reinforced concrete installation. The creation of structures from prefabricated reinforced concrete elements is a complex process, in which manual labor is combined with machine work. In this case, the builders use special double walls. They consist of two outer layers of concrete connected by a welded mesh. The fact is that a wall of this type has a much lower weight than a normal wall, made only of concrete. This feature allows using cranes with low lifting power on site, and therefore saving money. During assembly, the entire weight of the reinforced concrete wall is assumed by the crane. The workers place it in the right place and then fix it with special supports. This is a difficult stage. Workers make sure that the panels are level and strictly perpendicular to the ground. After installation, the space in the reinforced concrete structure is filled with concrete. The result is a monolithic wall resistant to external factors. Footpath repair. These experts use paving techniques to give the backyard of a house an absolutely new and stylish look. They lift the old concrete slabs to put the new ones in place. The repair takes much less time than creating a path from scratch. This is because there is already a base beneath the old slabs that is suitable for paving. The surface is covered with a layer of stone chips. The worker distributes them carefully so that the material to be applied afterwards is distributed evenly. The chips are then additionally compacted with a board. Note that stones used are unusual. The stones are connected to each other by a special grid. This ingenious design saves time. Instead of laying each stone individually, the future path is divided into sections. The stone structure on the mesh can be reduced if it is necessary to adjust the size of the section. Before laying the stone structure, a layer of cement is applied over the stone chips. The stones are then placed and forced into the cement. When the entire path is paved, the only thing left is filling the cavities between the stones with a special mix. Underfloor heating. Finally, we will show you a unique way to install a heated floor. The tiles which normally cover the floor are heated by the cables underneath. The electrical system is better than the water heating system because it allows you to adjust the temperature. Traditionally, the cable is fixed to the ground with a stapler. In this case, the master uses special DitraHeat membranes. It's really easy to cover the entire floor surface with them, even if the room has a complex shape. The membranes are cut with a knife or scissors to the desired size. The cables are then placed on the surface using a flat spatula, but they can also be placed manually. These membranes help to lay the cable in flat lines, keeping them at an exact distance from each other. Hey, stop being lazy, it's time to use that brain of yours. Welcome to Brain Time. Incredible facts from the past, the present, and even the future. The power of nature and wild animals, amazing facts and unsolved mysteries. You'll find all this and much more here. Subscribe now, you won't regret it.